Not long after acquiring the Iveco 5510, a job came in at a mobile home park a few miles down the road. Some people had done a moonlight flit, leaving a bit of a mess behind, which included a 60s Morris Minor and a Citroen 2CV. The park's caretaker, who knew me vaguely, just wanted them gone ASAP. Pulling the lorry onto the park one bright summer morning, I jumped down from the cab amid various elderly disapproving gazes. What greeted me was a 1966 Morris 1000 painted in pillar box red with what looked like a brush. This, and four flat tyres aside, it was indeed complete. The Citroen was less so, doors thrown inside, along with its bonnet and boot lid. Being small cars, I dragged the pair up onto the truck's 20-foot beaver tail body and took my leave of the now happily waving caretaker. Once back at my yard, I began to evaluate the cars and decided to have a go at getting the old Morris going. 20 minutes and some fresh fuel later, bit of tapping of the old tick-tock fuel pump, had one going. I blew the tyres up and gave it a try up the drive. That particular weekend, there was a steam rally on locally, and I parked the car outside my father's bungalow with a rather hopeful for sale sign in the windscreen. Maybe a past enthusiast would take pity on the thing, I thought. By Sunday evening, I had totally given up the hope that the Morris would sell off the drive and was about to bring it in when my mate Darren, whom we called Billy, called in, having heard about the brush painted miner from somebody in the pub. He fancied a bit of a project, and £60 changed hands. I promised to deliver it the next day. After Billy had left, I started the old Morris up, ready to bring it in onto my father's drive until I could deliver it in the morning. The brakes, understandably, had been a bit spongy when I had parted up on the Saturday, but what I had failed to realise was that by Sunday evening, what fluid there had totally and utterly pissed away somewhere. My father's bungalow is on a steep slope. I chugged in through the drive, went to hit the miner's brakes, pedalled hit the bloody floor, and I quickly ripped up the handbrake lever, but only for the rotten cable to snap. Myself and one of Cowley's finest shot down the drive through the rose bushes, around the rear of my father's potting shed with a bit of a thump, over the rockery, and with a 3-foot drop down into the field at the bottom. The A-Series engine was still running after this catastrophe, and apart from a growing egg on my head, where the jolt had me bounce up out of the seat and headbutt the car's roof, I was intact too. Piloting the car back up the field to my yard's gate where I left it overnight, ready to deliver in the morning. When I took it down to Billy, he was somewhat perturbed by the large dent now in the car's near side rear panel from my close encounter with Dad's potting shed. I didn't tell him what really happened, saying, "Darndest thing, you know, Bill. Just as I was about to load her up last night, this huge ram was loose on the common, charging about all over the place. It kept butting the back of the car as I was trying to load it. I had to chase him off with a big stick. Sorry about that, mate, but 'tis what it is." My neighbour had some half-baked scheme in his head about building himself a rough terrain cart for dragging various junk around his yard. Him and his sidekick, young Tom, called into my place a few weeks after the invisible Ram and Morris Minor incident. I still had the panel-less 2CV sat in the corner, and he reckoned the drivetrain from it would be ideal for his project. Tom and he spent an hour messing with the Citroen, which sputtered into exhaustless life, much to my yard cat's startlement. "Hey, let's give the eggs across a ploughed field thing a try. See how this thing copes on a thrash around the common," I suggested, having never driven one of them bloody things. The other two piled in, and off we went bumbling down towards my neighbour's house, through a ditch, and the full-length sunroof slapped down over my eyes. Tom, from his position in the rear seats, made a grab to clear my vision, but it was too late. We hit a ridiculously large antum, which buried the 2CV and halted forward progress. The car wouldn't move, and despite the three of us manhandling it off of the obstacle, it became clear that the impact had had a serious effect on the rust-weakened chassis, folding the rails in underneath. In the end, my neighbour and Tom stood on the rear bumper so the chassis straightened back up enough for me to drive it down to dump it on his drive, ready for sectioning. Some weeks later, a hideous Mad Max inspired type yard cart was unveiled. Its main purpose, it turned out, was to transport his oxypropane cutting gear around his farm. Hello there. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this one, would like to see a few more, then please like, share, and subscribe. It is appreciated. Does mean a lot. All the best to you. See you on the next one. Take care.